So I record it for you too. My mic.
Is that my pilot?
My voice is good.
Are you ready? Count three. Three. 1, 2, 3. I know and fear and cry. I have heard my people cry. Oh, the dwelling dark and sleep. My head will fade. I will make the stars of night. I will make the darkness bright. Who will lend my light to them? Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord. If you lead me, I will hold your people in my heart. I'm the Lord of snow and rain. I have borne my people's pain. I have wept for love of them. They turn away. I will break their hearts of stone. Give them hearts for love alone. I will speak my word to them. Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord. If you lead me, I will hold your people in my heart. I'm the Lord of wind and flame. I will tend the poor and lame. I will set the peace for them. My hand will save. Find and bread I will provide. Till their hearts be satisfied, I will give my life to them. Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord. If you lead me, I will hold your people in my heart.
You don't say anymore? Enough? Okay. Name of the Father and Son and the Holy Spirit, one God. I mean, can you hear me, or you want to come closer? Can we have a Bible, or you can open your phone only for the Bible? Book of Luke, chapter 19, verse 1 to 10. We can read some in the Bible, so if you have Bible handy, be good. But make sure the phone only for the Bible, nothing else.
Now we go like that.
You know, in my class, no one carry a phone. Everyone switched off in his pocket studying. But we say maybe they use Bible. All right?
Grandma, what was it?
A book of St. Luke, chapter 19. We start from verse 1.
Chapter 1.
19. Very easy, nice story. Story, we all know it. Which story? Zacchaeus. Okay? But if I told you we talk about Zacchaeus, you remember the story about Sunday school. which year we take it, maybe year 1 or 2 in Sunday school. But today we want to talk in a different angle. We talk to people as a youth about the story of Zacchaeus. All right? I read the story and I stress the point I want to discuss today. Then Jesus entered and passed through Jericho. Now behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus who was a chief tax collector. He's not a tax collector, he's the boss of tax collector. The tax collector in that time, they call him a sinner. And they hate him because he betrayed their people to the foreigner. What they do? This time, these people occupied by the Romans. So what the tax collector do? He said, I take area like Campbelltown, and I will give you $10,000 to the government. But any money I collect, that's for me. But what the government can do in return, anyone doesn't want to pay, they send a soldier, take the person and put him in jail, or they do whatever. Sell his kids, sell his house, sell whatever. So another people, they hate him because you sell your brother and sister to the foreigner. So look how these people hated. Zacchaeus was the chief of these people. He was a chief of tax collector and he was a rich. And he sought to see who Jesus was, but could not because of the crowd. Number one, the crowd around Jesus, so he can't see them. Plus, he was what? Short. Have a look to Jesus. Imagine Jesus. Anyone who saw the Bab Shinoda when he walked, look how many people around him. Imagine Jesus himself when he walked, how much and many people around him. And look what's happening in the story. He was short, so he ran ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was going to pass that way. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and saw him and said to him. So imagine I walk and all the crowd around me. Where I can look? I look up, or I look down, or I look straight. If I look up and I walk with the crowd, what's going to happen to me? If I look down and I walk in the crowd, what's going to happen to me? I can hit myself to the wall or anyone. But to show you when you want to see Jesus, what happened? He know and he looked to you. So what was his aim? Only to see what? Jesus. But he only cannot see Jesus? No. Jesus, he rewarded him more. Number two, here Jesus told him, Zacchaeus, make haste and come down, for today I must stay at your house. So instead of only you want to see me, I will come to your house. Look how big blessing. Plus. So he made haste and come down and receive him joyfully. But when they saw it, they all complained, saying, he has gone to be guest with a man who is a sinner. That the people to judge from outside. But look, Zacchaeus, after God come to his house, come to his heart how he changed. Then Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, look, Lord, I give half of all my goods to the poor. Imagine Zacchaeus have 1 million. From where he gets his million? From the tax. And like we explained before, this money, he took it from these people, so he wanted to make more money than 10,000 to give it to government, so he asked for more money. So he said, half of my money, I will give it to the poor. So if I have 1 million, half of the million, how much? Half a million. And the plus, that's only in the story. Plus, half of my money, I will give it to the poor, and if anyone I took any money from him not worthily, how much I will give him back? 4 times. So imagine how much left, another 500,000. He need to give it back how much? 2 million. 4 times. The half, 4 times, that's right. Anyone good in mathematics? So when Jesus came to his house, and this man was very, very rich, after Jesus left his house, this man was very poor. poor financially, but rich in the faith. So imagine the case, he wants to give these people money back. What he has to do? No, he has to go to every house to knock the door and to give what? The fourth time. So imagine someone broke in my home and stole my watch. And I found him after 2-3 weeks, knocked my home, and that's your watch, I stole your house. I said, what happened? He said, because I need Jesus. And I repent, and Jesus told me to give back everyone his money. Did you see the change when Jesus comes to someone home? So when we go to confess, not only to confess for anything you done against anyone, you need to go to confess and fix the problem you done. If I say something bad about any person, you need to go and correct this image when you talk badly in front of the people. If you took something not worthy, it's not yours, you need to bring it back. If you steal something, if your word let someone lose his job or anything, God in his Bible, he look for these people, they feel they're short in spiritual, and he start working this through these people. And God, he walk and pick up these people, they work through them. Why? Because God, he tell us, when you come to the church, don't you think your spiritual very small? I will bless this and I make it bigger. Because he doesn't want us to look to the saint around us and look to St. Peter, he shed his blood. Look to St. Mary, what she done and suffer. Look to this Saint Rebecca, look to this. And I look to myself, I found myself what? Very short. He said, no, just to open me your heart, open me your house, I make you what? Big in thing. We talk about this slowly. Number one, St. Paul, and in book of St. Paul, he said for us, it's very important, everyone in the church, he got job. In the early church, everyone get baptized, he take a service as a job. That's why in the church, in the beginning, was very big. You found every day a new people come to the church. Nowadays, every day we lose people out of the church. Why? Because now we start everyone look after himself only. I have someone today coming from the States. This is the head of our TV channel. He coming to visit Australia 2 weeks. This person, he finished 3 PhD. And one of them, last one, he done in the brain. How connect the brain to the body and affecting the body and body affects the brain. This man, he take the service as a full-time. His work as a professor in the university as a part-time. If someone in Australia have a 3 PhD and he has his medical center to people visit him, how much can it be rich? Average people here, normal doctor, he make about 1 million a year. So imagine a professor in the university, how much he can make. This man, he told me, I sold my house for the service to let the channel still go on. To preaching, to get non-Christian to be a Christian. He went to our church today, he gave a sermon, 30 people. So God, he tell us, everyone in the life have a service. And if you're not a servant, you shouldn't be Christian. Because when you're born from baptism, you be a Christian. And every mass we say, we preach what? God names. After we say, Amen, Amen, Amen. What happened after Amen? Can we say it? We preach your this, O Lord. And what else? So everyone coming out of the mass, he need to preach what? God bless. So they tell you, everyone in the church have a job. There is a job for the servant, there is a job of bishop, and there is a job for people like us give a speech, and there is a job for you. Imagine we're coming today morning, Sunday morning, and the deacon doing the Orban, he didn't do it. What's going to happen to the man? Can we do it? What's going to happen? Imagine if we have a cleaner on the church and stop to clean the church. What's going to happen? Can we come to the church? The church can be very dirty. They tell you, if you have a small job in front of God, like the big job. So if Bishoy do the Urban and I give the sermon, we are in front of God equal. That's why the scale cannot be even. But how my service can go or service his go, God he said by measure of love. How I love my service or how he love his service, that's in God's eye. Important to understand. In the book of Matthew he said, while you're sitting on the church you do nothing, it's very important you need to do something. You cannot do small job, but in front of God a big job. One servant in Alexandria, he moved from his city to Alexandria. He went to the church. The priest, they tell him, listen, our youth meeting is very poor. We need you to just give a speech on the youth meeting to get better. I said, Abuna, I don't know how to give a speech, but I serve in the meeting. The priest, they said the story, he said, after 2-3 months, the number of the meeting getting bigger. After another month, we have to collect seats from outside. After another month, people come and stand. So Abuna, he said, must something went wrong. Everything was normal except when this servant come and give us a speech and the church getting bigger and bigger. What happened? He told him, come tell me what. He said, Abuna, nothing, I do nothing. He said, must you do something? Since you come, the meeting is starting getting bigger. He said, Abuna, the meeting 5 o'clock, I come 4 o'clock. Every chair I clean and I pray for the person to sit in the chair. That's my service. Every chair I clean and God bless the person. So everyone have a problem or temptation or anything come to sit in the chair, the blessing and the prayer come to him, he will come back and they get other people. How is the church getting bigger? Did anyone know this person, the one he cleans the church, his job in front of God big like this? No. But in the eye of the God, it's very important, like the person come to give the speech, or like Abuna job, or like the cleaner job, or like the urban job. For the company, one day, they have big machine to collect all the parts to make the car. This big machine stop. To the big machine stop, so every part is collected, you can't finish, they have to stop. So every hour costs the company thousands and thousands of dollars. So what happened? The manager of the company said we need to get expert. This expert, he can check this machine. They send someone, they pay him a ticket to come all the way to check what went wrong on the machine. This person, he found a very small screw broke, so when you close the door doesn't lock very well, so they cannot close the door to collect the part. He told them how much the bill. He said $10 for the screw and $9,900 for the brain found where is the screw. So it cost him $10,000. Maybe we are the small screw in the church do the good job. And here in this topic today, they tell you, even if you don't know how to do any job, at least don't stop the people do their service. Now it's very easy. I can see someone, everything good, and I pick up the bad thing and I start tell him about this bad. Or someone he full of bad and I still cannot pick up the good to encourage him. I need you to remember 5 points and we'll talk about them today. Number 1, serve. You're not coming to church to sit. God created us to serve. Because end of the day, when we finish from this earth, God, he will call me, Ahab, tell me in your life what you did. I tell him I was a good worker. He said, all right. I was a good husband, good, all right. You are a good father, good, all right. But how many people he gets them to me? Imagine St. Anthony walking in the heaven with all this monk following him. St. Paul, everyone until now read his epistle, everyone following him. And when you come to tell him, God, I'm sorry, the talent he gave it to me, I put on the dust and I didn't use, what he can tell you, it's no wrong for you. So they tell you, even your small job, you have to do. Everyone in the church needs to serve. If you don't know how to serve, who doesn't want a speaker? Who doesn't want Sunday school servant? We need people at least smile in people's face. Someone new to the church, say hello to him. Give him a cup of tea. I remember a story I read with Japanese lady. This Japanese lady, she married Egyptian. And the priest visit her at home. She tell him, I don't know what's happening with your people. Everyone come to say hello to my husband, and they're like I'm invisible, not even exist, not even to say hello to. Maybe we're not going to see it like this, but the people feel it strange, they feel it. We need to make everyone welcome to our church. You doesn't know how to say hello, pray for these people. I know someone got HEC exam, you pray for him. You don't have to call him, I pray for you. No, you pray for him. You know we have trouble in the church, you pray for them. You know we have trouble in Egypt, pray for them. But everyone in the church have a service. One of the story happened in the jail of Russia. Russia was communist. Anyone preaching the Bible, they put him in jail. Very good servant. From a servant, good worker, next day he was in jail. Jail was second worst jail in all Russia. They have to work 12 hours a day and very hard work. So this servant very wise. He said, God, he bring me here for a reason. He found the worst prisoner and he said, this person, I will pray for him. So what happened? They gave him very small food. He even takes some of his food to give it to this prisoner. What he do at night, everyone go to sleep and he stand next to his bed and they pray for him. So one day this prisoner, the evil one, the bad one, he was killing someone, that's why for life in prison. He'd wake up, he told him, what you doing? He said, I pray for you. He said, why? Do you know me? He said, but I'm praying for you. Day after day, start to talk to him about God. This evil person start to change. So the chief of the prison, he told him, come here, how did you change this person? He said, I only pray for him. He said, we will not believe in God, but I will give you an easy job to start to do this job. Why? Because you start to change him, but we give you an easy job to start to change the rest of the people. Slowly start to pray for these people, he start to change them. They tell him, we are second worst jail in Russia, we move to you the worst one. And if you start to changing these people, what we do, we let you go free early. He start to pray for these people, they start to be Christian and they change. After they give him free release, he sent a letter to his wife. He said, I found the service God built me in. I doesn't want to go back. My job here in the prison to change people's life. That's a servant, serving God, and he know his idea. He know he focus what he wanted to do to bring people to God. Honest, do whatever education you want. Collect money as much as you want. But end of the day, God will ask you for the talent he gave it to you. You will tell him, God, I have PhD. He said, doesn't worry me. I give you this study to get people to Christ. I give you this health to bring people to life. I give you this wealth to bring people to life. Because if God, he wants people to create, to die, he cannot create it. But God creates people to live. That's why he created us to live, not to die. After we live here, we have eternal life. So number one, serve. Everyone, whatever you are Sunday school servant, or kitchen servant, or any type of job, you can serve people through your job. This man, he was talking to us today. He said some operation we do, people have not left to live. He said, someone coming accident and I'm a surgeon, I haven't got time to do. He said, the man have about 2-3 days. He said, the most important for me, I was talking to him about God before I heal him. Because if he didn't make it, at least he can go somewhere. Someone, he used his work to bring people to God. And some people, unfortunately, they train people away from God because we see what we do. They see our language outside. They see we are a Christian, and instead of come 8 o'clock, I'm here from 7 o'clock. Or we lie, or we do this or that. Number one, serve. Number two, encourage people to do good things. You don't know how to serve, give some nice words to people. Someone who's doing very hard, someone who's cleaning the church, very good. God will bless you. God will help you. We hear someone sick, tell him God will heal you. See, the thing is a good for someone and help him. There's one one saying for philosophy, very famous one. He said, I can live days without food. I can live hour without water. I can live minute without air, but I cannot live second without encouragement. Every one of us needs encouragement. Every one of us needs someone to tell him you're doing good job, do better, or God will help you. During the test, you've done very good, God will help you. Don't worry, you do your best, God does the rest. One person, his name is Stewart, that's in America. This boy was year 5 in the school. The teacher, seeing the class, this boy coming, his clothes not clean, his not smell nice, always they keep him in the corner, he not friendly at all. And by close to Christmas, they have to write report about the kids. So the teacher, she was reading the report of this boy. She found in year 1, he's very intelligent boy. Year 2, the teacher writes, he's very friendly. Year 3, his mom very sick. Year 4, his mom passed away, his dad very busy. The teacher, she starts, she said, I judge wrongly. I should help him. Christmas coming, so everyone bring a present to the teacher. This boy bring a small old box, and they got her necklace with missing some of the jewelry even. Everyone in the class start laugh. She doesn't want the boy to embarrass, she wear it. And they give her, a perfume half empty, half full. Everyone start to laugh. She started with, I said, this is the best present. After everyone left, he said, you're wearing the necklace of my mom, and this, now I can smell you with the perfume of my mom. The teacher, she told him, thank you, you teach me how I teach. Next year, the teacher was with him, start encouraging. This boy went to another high school. He sent her a letter, I'm doing good in high school, and I want to tell you, you're the best teacher. He finished high school, he went to the medicine. He finished medicine. He one of the profession people, he has a big section about to treat the cancer. And he has big section under his name, and when he found someone to marry, he sent her a letter, invitation. He told her, I invite you not as a teacher or as a friend, as to replace my mom. And she came to the wedding wearing the necklace and with the perfume. Just from little encouragement to change a person's life. Don't pick the bad thing about someone and try to stir. Become the good thing. It looks very good. And that's actually communication. When I have a different point of view, don't come for the wrong. Come for positive first and after. I agree with this, I agree with this, I agree with this, but I think if we do this, it's going to be better. That's for management and communication. To be successful, to work with people. If you're not going to use it spiritually, even if you use it at work, you'll be successful. Number 1, serve. Number 2, encourage. Number 3, refuse. Refuse someone you tell you're short in spiritual. God, he look for the people, the small ones, the short in spirituality, and they make a miracle with them. Remember Saint Simon the shoemaker? Remember the story? Anyone who doesn't know the story? He was have one eye, and what's his job? Shoemaker. And we have the Pope, Amba Abraham, who is a very blessed man. And God wants to move the mountain. So which one we choose to move the mountain, the spiritual blessed man? Should be the Pope. Imagine the Pope coming, and imagine someone shoemaker coming. Which one will kiss his hand? If I touch the shoemaker, maybe I said, it's not clean, I have to wash my hand after. But God has different story. God, he choose the shoemaker to move the mountain. But God, he looked to the heart, not to the picture outside. He tell you, because when you see the church, don't say, this is Amba Abraham, he's a saint. No, look to Saint Simon, he was a shoemaker, but God make him the saint. A nice story too. What happened? Someone, he's a cleaner, applied to work in Microsoft company. He's a professional cleaner. He's very happy from his experience. He got the job. They tell him, we need to do induction for you. This induction, we will set the date and we'll send you email. The cleaner, I said, I haven't got email. He said, what? If you not have email, that means you not exist. You're not going to get the job. He said, I do one. They said, no, you must have an email before you apply. They sack him. They tell him, you're not going to get the job. The man went outside very upset. But he need to do something to feed his family. He started to bought some tomatoes as a big stock and they started to sell it by portion. He started to make a little bit of money and buy and sell, make more money, buy and sell, make more money, until he started to buy a truck and to do delivery, another truck and to do delivery, until one was like Lean Fox in America. And he has to renew his insurance. So one of the staff wasn't there, so he has to renew it himself. So he rings the company, they told him, we need your email. He told them, I have no email. He said, there is one businessman own all this, have no email. He said, because if I have an email, I should work as, not as. So don't worry about you are short stature or not. Put yourself with God's hand, can I make you big person. He can change your life, but are you willing to put your hand and your life with God's hand or not? So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, be careful. If you're not going to encourage and you say some bad words, it's going to make a big problem later on. Have a look to one story, very interesting. 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 16. 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 16. Anyone who knows this story? David, he went outside with his army to get the ark of the Lord back. Okay? He was very happy, he and his army. 16, 6, 2 Samuel 6, 16. He was very happy when he came. But who wasn't happy to see him dancing in front of the ark? His wife. Look the dialogue and look how he answered here. From verse 16 now, as the ark of the Lord came into the city of David, Michal, Saul's daughter, and who was Saul? Was a king, and she's a daughter king. She should look after her language better. Looked through a window and saw King David living and whirling before the Lord, and she disposed him in her heart. That's mean يعني احتقرته. That's right. احتقرته في قلبها. زي king يرقص كده قدام الناس. So they brought the ark of the Lord and set it in the place in the midst of the tabernacle that David had erected for it. Then David offered burnt offering and peace offering before the Lord, and when David had finished offering burnt offering and peace offering, he blessed the people in the name of the Lord of hosts. Then he distributed among all the people, among the whole multitude of Israel, both the woman and the man, to everyone loaf of bread, a piece of meat, and a cake of raisin. So all people depart, everyone to his house. Then, look David now. Then David returned to bless his household. And Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet David and said, how glorious was the king of Israel today, uncovering himself today in the eye of the midst of the servant, as one of the base fellow shamelessly uncovered himself. So what she told him, not nice at all. The king do this one in front of people, and like someone shamelessly, like shame. That's right, shame in front of everyone. Look how the king answered here. He said, so David said to Michal, it was before the Lord who chose me instead of your father. Start now, my father and your father. So if you're not polite, I can answer you back. Your father and all his house, to appoint me ruler over the people of the Lord, over Israel. Therefore, I will play music before the Lord, and I will be even more undefiled than this, and will be humble in my own sight. But as for the maidservant of whom you have spoken, by them I will be held in honor. Therefore Michal, the daughter of Saul, had no children to the day of her death. He didn't meet her, or he left her, or got punished her, whatever happened, but to show you. If you're not going to choose the time to tell, if I have something against anyone, if I want to say something to Monica, I'm not going to tell Monica in front of people. And the way you choose to tell people, it's very important. And the time, it's very important. And the nice word you choose, it's very important. So be careful. If you're not going to say something good, that's what can come in return. God, He chose me better than you, your parents, and everyone in Israel. Last one. So first one was serve. Number 2, number 3, number 4, be careful, not encourage. Number 5, we need to practice what we learn. What's the best story about communication we have in our Bible? Which one? Anyone remember? Anyone good reading Bible? Did we read Bible or not? Next time when I come, we'll talk about how important the Bible in our life. Very important. No, we'll give it for servant meeting. Maybe we'll give it to the servant meeting. Yeah, we'll give it in the servant meeting. In book of John chapter 4, a very important story to show how we practice what we read. God, He met which woman? Samaritan woman. Samaritan woman was a good woman. How many husbands she has? How many? 5, and the one last one was no husband. She has to go mid of the day. Why? Because she doesn't want anyone give her bad word, to tell her something that's, in this area like Israel, like Egypt, hot, midday, that's summer, it's very hot, and they carry water and walk all the way. She already upset and angry, and she doesn't want anyone to tell her, and Jesus met her. And everyone in the area, he know her story. Jesus easily can tell her, yes, you have 5 husbands, everything, but He chose something she said, and they changed her life. From a sinner woman to repented woman, and in the end of the story, what she done? A preaching woman. We read it slowly and we see. From verse maybe 14. But however drink of this water, so John 4 from verse 14, but however drink of this water that I shall give him will never thirst, but the water that I shall give him will become in his a fountain of water springing up into everlasting life. The woman said to him, Sir, give me this water, that I may not thirst, nor come here to draw. Jesus said to her, Go call your husband and come here. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Jesus said to her, You have well said, I have no husband. For you have had 5 husbands, and the one whom you now have is not your husband. Is that you spoke truly? The woman said to him, Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet. Because no human can say something good about her. That's the only word of prophet or blessed man. He left all the bad, all the negative in her life, and they choose one positive. And this one positive actually changed her life. It changed your life. How easy we can put people down. Easy we can, we say something bad, destroy people's life. But very hard to restore it back. So choose your word like our master. Who remember President Gamal Abdel Nasser? He was one of the very president in Egypt. Anyone here remember him? He's very famous. Gamal Abdel Nasser. In the beginning of Pope Carolus, when he was a pope, they have cold time. They didn't see each other for a long time. After they know each other, after Pope Carolus, he make a miracle for his daughter, they start to get friends. So he used to visit him, and Gamal Abdel Nasser, he tell him, you my father. Anytime you want to come, you can come. One day, Gamal Abdel Nasser, he feel pain in his chest. So he tell him, my father, can you pray for me? So Pope Carolus, he put his hand in his chest and start to pray for him. So what Gamal Abdel Nasser, he told him, now I am, released. I am better now. And Pope Carolus, he told him, I am better too. He said, Gamal Abdel Nasser, he said, I am better because you pray for me. Tab, why you better? He said, in our Bible, he said, the heart of the king in God's hands. We have a verse to say, the heart of the king in God's hand. And when I touch your heart, I touch God's hand. Did you see how the beautiful word? Did you see how the wise people can make other enemy a friend? More easy we can make people upset from us. The Bible, he said, the blessed person, he make his enemy a friend. You remember Mel Gibson, which movie he done? Very famous one.
Mad Max.
Passion of Christ. We are in the church. Mel Gibson, he was working in the circus in the beginning of his life. One day he went out nights from work, coming home. What happened to him? They started, 3-4 people thief. They stole his money and they bashed him. And they kicked his face until all ripped. And they think he died, they left him in the street. Police do patrolling, he found him. They took him to the hospital. They tried to look after him, but his face destroyed. He can't find any job. He decided to commit suicide. He was walking next to one of the church, a priest called him. He said, what's wrong? He said, look to my face, no one wants to employ me. He said, believe in God that he can change, and we do our best. The doctor, the priest, one of the doctor, surgeon doctor, he started to fix his face. He do some surgery in his face, and his face come better than before. Start to look for job until he start acting. And the first movie he done, Man with Two Faces. That's first movie, his life. Second one, he done The Passion of Christ. Imagine if this priest, he didn't encourage him. Imagine if this priest turned his face and I said, I'm not going to help. Where we can see the Passion of Christ? No. So very important, we encourage these people. Very important, we speak nicely to these people. One of the blessing of encouragement, one his drawer, very famous, Van Gogh. He's a very famous, he's a small icon or picture, about 3-4 million. They tell him, how you be professional like this? He said, the number one in my life was my mom. He used to make drawing anything and write this flower. His mom very happy, you done very good. And she take it and put in the wall and says, this is a flower from Bangkok, very nice, but I am sure next time you do better. He start to do better and better and better until he be one of the world artists and very famous. He's a small one after he passed away, 3-4 million. And they said, I never forget my mom. She's the one who was encouraging me. Thomas Edison, who know his story? Who's Thomas Edison? Do you know what wrong with him? He's the one that done the electricity. Do you know what was wrong with him? He was deaf. What happened with him, his story, his mom too was encouraging him. When he was 7 years old, he got high fever and he lost partially of his hearing. So the teacher, he told him, is something wrong in your brain, you can't go to school, don't come anymore. His mom bring her son in front of the teacher and everyone, they told him, my son, he got ahead better than all of you. She left her work and she started teaching him mathematics, science, everything. He was 13. This man was very intelligent. He started to do some exercise, he tried to create something. He was practiced on one of the train, old one, they explode. So the man, the guard, he bang slapped him in his face. He lost fully deaf. He said, that's better so I can concentrate about my work because I doesn't want to hear any noise. This man, he create a 1,000, he do a new thing for the sun. The most important one was the electricity. And he said, I never forget my mom, the one encouraged me, dedicate his life, and I be Thomas Edison. Very important. These people need encouragement. Like we see anything of the person, something small, we encourage him. Found the small good about the person and encourage him. You be very good. People will love you. People, they like to talk to you. But when I know some people, he come to talk to me like end of the world. Finished. Life is life finished. End of the world. And I remember one person about 60 years old, he lost his job. I told him, don't worry, we do course for you. He tried to do course, traffic control. He went to do the course, he failed. His kids working, his wife working, he's the only one at home. And this man come to me honest, he was crying. If I didn't talk to him, he will commit suicide. You know, he went down unless he think he's not have no benefit anymore. I started to sit and explain to him to try to do the course again, and I talked to the people, when they do the course again and pass him, see how he was happy. Very important. No one can live without encouragement. I can live how long without food? I can live how long without water? I can live how long without air? But I can't live without encouragement for a second. Glory be to God forever and ever. Amen. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Abuna. Always you give me the blessing here.
Thank you.
So God bless you, Abuna.
Thank you. Make it today.